Greetings once again, fellow Americans. John DeMay, running for President of the United States, 2012. This is the second part of the videos that I'm making. This is about the platform that I'm standing on, what I hope to accomplish if I manage to get elected President of the United States. Tonight what I'll be talking about, of course, is one of the pressing issues facing this country, and that's our economy. Of course, we have a whole lot of people in Congress and a usurper that's sitting in the presidency right now that's responsible for the situation that we're in right now. We've got plenty of car moguls and bankers sitting on the beaches drinking their margaritas, you know, sipping them away and having a good old time soaking up the sun rays, while we all are sitting here wondering how we're going to make our bills and pay everything. Well, I live in California, and here's the thing that's going on in California. Not too long ago, California was the 7th largest economy in the world. Right now, we've been told that California has the worst economy in the nation. Now, how in the heck could that have happened in just a few years? Okay, now we see that our property values have plummeted. The home that I live in right now, when I bought it for around $339,000, and it's nothing really that big, folks. Out here in California, you don't get much for $339,000. However, I do have 2 acres, and it's a nice home, but it's around 1,900 square feet. It's nothing that special. But bottom line is that right after the crash, the big bubble burst that we just went through, my property value went down to I think it was $130-something thousand the last time I looked. So as you can all imagine, I'm over my head just like a lot of you people are out there. And here's the thing. I didn't have to do anything. I fully qualified. I was fully documented. I came up with the 40% down, and I did everything that I was supposed to do, but I got caught up in the big mess that everybody else got caught up in. But back to the economy of California. Now, we're told that California is in dire straits right now. We have a governor, I.wmv Brown. His father was governor of the state of California before Ronald Reagan was. This man managed to become the governor of Oakland, and also at one time was the attorney general. One interesting anecdote about Jerry Brown is we have the referendum and initiative process out here in California, and we ended up voting for on the same-sex marriage law out here, and the majority of us determined that marriage is between a man and a woman, period, and that was it. We voted for it. It was put into law, but our illustrious governor decided that he, as Attorney General, was not going to enforce that law. So that goes right there and tells you, everybody, that this man is abrogating his duty to the Constitution in the worst way. His job as Attorney General is to, enforce the law, and he absolutely refused to do that. So now we're going backwards and forwards with this one issue. Another issue that we have here in California is that where I live, up in the mountains, we have a water company that wanted to spend a whole lot of money to increase a bunch of retirement funds for folks, and they wanted to hire an additional 3 people to monitor water quality that could be done with just a simple robotic device that you stick in the water that monitors the water quality. And we didn't need an extra 2 people to sit there getting paid up $10 to plus their retirement and everything like that just to watch the water. But that's not really the problem here in California. The problem with California, as it is with the rest of the country, is we have a tidal wave of humanity crossing the border every evening. We can't stop them. There's absolutely no way we have the well, actually we do have the manpower, but I'll get onto that in just a little bit. But here it is. We pay to educate, medicate, and incarcerate illegal immigrants that are coming over to this country, and a lot of liberals will tell you the poor people they're just looking for a way to make a better life for themselves. Folks, it isn't up to the people of the United States or the United States government to make life easier on the rest of the world. The job of the federal government and the people of this country, or I mean of this state, is to make sure that the people of the United States are taken care of. And I don't mean giving things away. What I mean is make sure that we have jobs and we have the means to do what we need to do with the least amount of government intrusion that we possibly can have. It is my gut feeling that the only way that we're going to deal with it, and I could solve the economic crisis here in California overnight. And as California goes, as the saying is, as California goes, so does the rest of the nation. And I don't mean to sound arrogant. That's just a thing that's floating out there, and there is some degree of truth to that matter. But here's the deal. Someone has to have the guts to stand up there and say, we cannot absorb the world's population. Give us your huddled masses does not work in this nation anymore. The Statue of Liberty, I'd like to chisel that right out of the Statue of Liberty right now, because what it's doing is it's giving people that false sense of security that they can come over here anytime they want and prevail upon us to take care of them. Like I said, we have classrooms here in California where we have greater than 40, 50 students in the classroom. We can't afford to educate all the people that are coming across the border. And on top of that, we have to teach them in Spanish. And then we have to hire special people that can speak a foreign language so we can teach them to speak English. And we're holding everybody else up. And in the meantime, our education system is taking a nosedive. We can't even afford to educate our children. Then what we've got going on is we've got more than half of our population in our California prisons are illegal immigrants that have created crimes, some very heinous, some very deadly crimes, a lot of violent crimes that are filling up our jails to the point where we have to actually allow criminals to leave prison early in order so we can make room for more illegal immigrants to sit in our jails. And here in California, and a lot of Californians that are looking at this right now can identify with me, but if you ever have to go to the hospital and go in there for anything, say you're going in there with a heart attack, you have to sit next to, a dozen to 2 dozen people with sniffles that are coming in there to see an emergency room doctor for something that they could actually see with the primary care physician. But they can't do this because they're illegal immigrants, and they know. And don't let anybody tell you, in this country, nobody is turned away. If you're dying in this country, the hospitals will take care of you. They will see to it that you don't die and that you are at least stabilized until they can move you to a county facility. But that isn't the case with illegal immigrants. Nobody is turned away. They're not even asked to see their identification. As a matter of fact, in our hospitals, we're not even allowed, the nurses aren't even allowed to ask you for your identification or if you have insurance. They aren't permitted by law to do that. So the thing is, people are getting a free medical examination at our expense. Now, when you add everything up, we're talking billions of dollars. Now, the big argument that everybody gives you, all the liberals from Davis to Berkeley to all these liberal bastions of socialism, will tell you that we have to have compassion for the poor and that we must take care of these people. The bottom line is this, folks. A nation's sovereignty is its borders. If we can't manage our borders, we don't have a nation. And it is not up to us to make sure that people aren't running across our borders. It's up to the nations that these people are coming from to maintain their borders themselves and keep them out of the United States of America. Now, we know that isn't going to happen. The people down in places like South America, Central America, Mexico, China, you name the nation, they're coming from Canada, they're coming from everywhere. What they're going to end up doing is they're going to come across here because they're going to let the people come across because they know that we'll take care of them, and then the problem's out of their hair. Then they can take whatever money they've got and they can sock it away into their slush funds, and then they're happy and go lucky. Once they retire, they're billionaires and they've got our taxpayers.